What's up, guys? Frantic here, and welcome to the Sunday Show, where I recommend awesome music for you to listen to this week. Alright, let's jump right into it. Today, I have 4 albums to give to you because I'm really just listening to a lot of the stuff I recommended last week. If you want to know what those are, link is in the description. Anyways, first up is a band called Adora, Vivos, and the album I'm going to recommend is Toward the Empyreon. It's their only album they've released, and it's a really awesome doom metal album. I'm really a big fan of doom metal, and if you aren't sure if you're a big fan of doom metal or if you're even going to be a fan of doom metal, I got 2 songs off this album I'm going to recommend. First up being Ruin of Tranquility, second being These Dark Roads. They're the first 2 tracks off the album, so if you just turn the album on, listen for 2 songs, find that you like it, keep going. The album's really good. It kind of dips at the end. I think it doesn't really close out too well. It's a good album, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it like closes itself out the best. But if you like the first 2 tracks, you should like the rest of the album, and you might be really into doom metal like me. If you are, I might be able to recommend some gothic doom metal by one of my personal favorite bands, My Dying Bride. My Dying Bride is a band that has been around for a while now. They do gothic doom metal, so they take what doom metal already is, which is really depressive, and then they add gothic elements, usually gothic horror elements to it. And the album I've been listening to is Songs of Darkness, Words of Light. And if you aren't sure if you're going to like that at all, you don't want to listen to this whole entire album. I mean, if you didn't like it in the first 3 songs, you wouldn't listen anyways. But if you want me to recommend some songs off of that, I got 2 more for you. I got The Wreckage of My Flesh, which is the first track, and then the third track, which is Catherine Blake. Catherine Blake, honestly, is my favorite song off that whole entire album. There's a couple other really good tracks off that album, but, if you just want a quick, abridged version of the album, that's what I would recommend. All right, moving into another realm of music that you may or may not be sure you like, atmospheric black metal. I'm going to recommend Agalloch's Marrow of the Spirit, which is one of my personal favorite albums from Agalloch and one of my personal favorite albums in general. And if you aren't sure if you like atmospheric black metal, I don't blame you because you probably haven't heard of it or you have barely listened to anything that may be considered a good atmospheric black metal song. I would recommend Black Leg Nidgstong. It's one I've tweeted about a few times, but it is definitely my favorite song off this album. It's so good, and if you like that, start at the beginning, listen all the way through. It's supposed to be an experience. It's not like you listen to one track, it's a hit song, and the next track's kind of like filler. It's all just one big piece. And if you found you liked that, at least Black Leg Nidgstong, or you're thinking, this is good, but it might be something different out there that I like, I'd recommend Vials of Wrath and their album Days Without Names. Vials of Wrath is an atmospheric black metal band that I found recently. They don't have too many followers, or they aren't crazy big, so they're definitely niche, I guess is the best way to put it, which this entire genre, in my opinion, is niche. Anyways, the song, if you aren't sure you're going to like the album, or you aren't sure if you even want to listen to 17 minutes of Agalloch, I could recommend Journey Beyond the Flesh, which is the second track on the album, but it's kind of the first song because the first track isn't necessarily a song per se. It's kind of like an instrumental opening that lasts 2.5 minutes or something like that. But Journey Beyond the Flesh is around 10 minutes long, and that's kind of how atmospheric black metal works. They're just really long songs with a lot of different aspects like acoustic guitars, tremolo picking, distorted guitars, some really harsh vocals. Every now and then they put in strings or sounds of nature, and that's really what I like about it. It's all that stuff combined makes this really good atmosphere, and that's where it gets the name, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. So let me know what you guys think of those songs. What'd you think of last week's songs? I'd love to get your opinion. And what are you listening to this week? I might give it a try and talk about it next week. Would love to give you a shout out if you give me something really good. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'd love to hear what you're talking about in the comments, and I'll see you next time, guys.